Hi guys, it's KJ and it's Flashback Friday. Today is my 30th day of waist training. So I made it through the 30 days and consistently waist trained anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. Actually, for 29 days, I did 8+ hours. Only the first day that I got the trainer, I did 4 hours. And I definitely wanted to drop you guys a little video to talk about waist training in general. LUXX curves waist trainer. There's like so much that I need to pack into this 15-minute video, or I hope not to make it more than 15 minutes. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're not following me on TikTok, if you're not following me on IG, then you need to be doing so. If you're invested in my waist training journey, I suggest you really subscribe to the YouTube because that's where all the details are gonna be. I'll still put it on IG, but if it's more than 15 minutes, it'll be a part 1, part 2. I think you should just go to the YouTube and just go to the waist training section, and then you can just follow my journey. So 30 days, ooh. I've made some mistakes, but I've also persevered through it. And I hope I can remember all the tips and tricks and things that I did while trying to be consistent with waist training. First thing I'm gonna tell you guys is, hold on. One of the biggest mistakes I made was buying this measuring tape after I got my waist trainer and not doing like before pictures and during pictures. Like I didn't really do a progress report like I did with my yoga journey when I started yoga 3 years ago. And let me tell you why. So when I started yoga 3 years ago, I thought I was only going to be doing it for 2 weeks. I'd had a history of doing it for 2 weeks and then quitting. So I assumed that in March 2019, I was going to do the same. So I was kind of just like taking the pictures and doing the exercises just like out of fun, but somehow I just kept going. And 3 years later, here I am. So when I got into this and decided I'm going to try to do waist training, I definitely didn't do the process the way how it's suggested, where you measure your waist, then you measure your torso. That's specific to LUXX curves. I just kind of like guessed my torso, guessed my waist. I was very lucky because my guess was pretty on point. So I was able to buy the trainer, plus I got 2 extenders from LUXX curves. We'll talk about LUXX curves separately. And now I'm gonna talk about waist training first because I think that's mainly what you guys wanna know, no matter what company that you decide to try. So one of the things that made me get into waist training is, I told you, while I've never had a child, I definitely have gone through stages of depression, sadness, anxiety, and the older you get, all of that starts to show up in your stomach. So to me, this is like me trying to get my snap back. Now, I am really good at working out. I still work out 5 days a week. I do my yoga routine. I do my strength training. But I'm very bad at watching what I eat. And so that is the problem, where results for me tend to be slow. But I'm a slow and steady wins the race type of person. I don't really believe in trimming or losing weight really fast, because I always feel like the faster you lose weight is the faster you may gain it back. So on this channel, I just support being healthy, whatever your version of healthy is. Definitely talk to your primary physician. Definitely talk to a personal trainer before you make any big exercise decisions, especially if you know you have some pre-existing health conditions. The tips I give here are just tips that worked for me. They're not tips that I'm telling you what to do. That's gonna be a decision for you, but I just wanna let you know what's made me somewhat successful on these journeys or whatever. So first and foremost, when I think of any kind of fitness journey, whether it's yoga, waist training, whatever, I focus on trying to be consistent first. So I know some people may go into even waist training and you've got your goals set. And there's a small population of people that setting goals is really gonna motivate them. But for a lot of us, if you set goals too quick and you have not focused on being consistent, you're probably gonna fall short. You're gonna get discouraged if the results are not coming in as fast. So my biggest key to my fitness journey is just simply staying consistent. I hate to say it, but what you're consistent in your life will tend to grow. I've heard it before, I've heard it multiple times, and I think it's true because I've seen it happen with my yoga journey. I started doing yoga, practicing yoga in March 2019 in 5 minute increments, till I can get to 10 minutes, till I can get to 15 minutes, and so on and so on and so on. So I focused on the consistency, just jokingly thinking it's not gonna work for me, I'm not gonna fall in love with it, I'm gonna quit it again, and then I didn't, right? So when it came to waist training, I'm not a big measuring person, period. But I did end up purchasing this measuring tape off of Amazon before I had to close my account for Lent. So when I finally did, I measured myself maybe a week after I got the trainer. Without the trainer, I think I was about 38 inches for my waist. And with the trainer on, it was about 36 inches. Now I'm about, I think I'm about 36 inches without the trainer. So definitely I've come down in 2 inches. If you're clean eating, if you're doing some super duper crazy cardio while being safe, then you'll probably see results faster. But I am still in love with Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups right now. And I am still loving my fried chicken, like my Popeyes and my McDonald's and stuff. I don't overindulge, but I'm definitely not clean eating. I do intermittent fasting. I started that 3 years ago. But a lot of people, I think it's like 16 hours of fasting and then 8 hours of eating. A lot of people in that 8 hour window will end up, they will end up eating in a very healthy manner. I eat what I want in that 8 hour window. It's just better for my digestive tract. And honestly, doing the intermittent fasting along with my yoga schedule, because it's really better to practice yoga on an empty stomach, like first thing in the morning, they kind of went hand in hand and kind of keeping me more toned. But as far as diets, I've only been on one diet in my entire life, and it was in spring 2017. It was Weight Watchers. I lost 20 pounds, and then when a lot happened in my family, like by the end of January 2018, I put all that weight on and more, and it just got so scary. And then by 2019, I decided I need to take some baby steps and get myself back on track. So slow and steady wins the race, and be safe. So I don't think I'm doing anything that extreme. So if you want to get into waist training, I would suggest measuring your waist so you have an idea, so you don't waste your time with the trainer, and like by buying the wrong trainer, needing to return it. And then also, if you're going with a company like LUXX Curves that also has torso sizes, they have a short torso, they have a medium torso, and then they have a long torso. I knew I was not a long torso person because generally people with long torsos have short legs, and I have long legs for my height. So I knew I was somewhere between a short and a medium. I ended up selecting medium, and after it came, I actually measured my torso, and I'm about 11 inches. So the medium is about 11.5 for LUXX. I think the short is about 9 inches, and I think the long torso, I think it's like 14 or something like that. Anyway, so I was right about the torso size. And then I had purchased it, the waist trainer in a large, and I bought 2 extenders with it just in case the large would be too tight and I really needed an XL. I started off with both extenders, but within a couple days after the waist trainer stretched a little bit, I realized I only needed 1 extender. So definitely if you're going with LUXX Curves, I would definitely recommend, even when you measure, to still have the extenders, because when you first try to break into this bad boy, it is like no joke. One of the things they tell you when you first get a new waist trainer is that you should either lay on your back or you should be in the mirror and try to put the waist trainer on. So even with the extenders, this baby has been like interesting in the last 30 days trying to put it on. So even with I have 1 extender now, and I'm on the very last one of the very last row of using this extender. So I hope in like 2 weeks or so that I'll be able to get rid of the extender altogether. Like I said, slow and steady. So when they tell you lay on your back or look in the mirror, I think the lay on the back works for people who don't have gigantic breasts. So as you can see, the trainer, this particular trainer, does make the boobs perky, but if you already have really big perky boobs, when you lay on your back, I may be able to see a little bit at the end, but all I see are titties. And now look at this. Okay, I hope I don't flash you. Look at it, 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 look at it. So these babies have been popping out everywhere. And it's been interesting. So the mirror trick actually worked better for me than laying on my back because I have big breasts and they tend to block my view. Also, you need to have a strong grip if you're getting yourself into the waist trainer. So I suggested using rubber gloves. After like 2 days of trying to put the trainer on myself and I felt like I was giving myself arthritis, I reached for some rubber gloves because I remember from science, rubber helps you grip a lot of surfaces better. And so I got them rubber gloves and they worked like a charm. But even with the rubber gloves, putting on the trainer is not for the weak. So if you have someone that can help you into it every day, I really suggest doing that for any waist trainer. But that was one of the issues I had because I need to get myself into it. So I definitely got the rubber gloves, but I'm telling you, I would be using my knuckles to kind of close it up, my knuckles at that. So that was one of the hindrances. When you start waist training, especially with this particular trainer, I did notice that I was getting some rashing and I was getting a little bit of bruising, but I was never in pain. So if you feel pain, just stop what you're doing, talk to your doctor because you shouldn't be feeling pain. As far as the rash, I think I got some hydrocortisone cream, and I was using witch hazel first, and that they both really helped, but the cream is even better. So I put that on before, like under my clothes, and I let it dry. Then I put my tank top or my dress over it, and then I put on the trainer. Because under the trainer, there's gonna be a lot of sweat, like just trapped under there. There's gonna be a lot of sweat trapped under there. So get ready for the mild irritations, especially if you have sensitive skin. But even if you have sensitive skin, there are products out here to help you with the rashing and the uncomfortability. That's another thing. Don't go into waist training thinking it's going to feel like 1,000% comfortable. Like any fitness regimen or anything that you're trying to do, it's going to bring changes. In the beginning, some days I would have acid reflux. There's some types of grease that when I have the trainer on, if I eat it, I immediately feel ill or I have to go to the bathroom. So you are gonna have to pick and choose and watch what you eat. Now, in order to be consistent for the 30 days, one of the things I did is in my iPhone's notes section, I put the date, and then the minute I get the trainer on, let's say I got it on at 7:59 a.m., right? I would put 8 a.m. down, and then I step away. And then I note the exact minute that I start to take the trainer off. And I would do that every day. So if you're having a hard time being consistent, I would recommend either writing it down every morning, and then when you take it off, write off the time you take it off. But that really helped me to know when I put it on and when I took it off. Also, what else about the writing? Also, okay, what to do with your trainer. Some people wear the trainer under their clothes and then put loose clothes over it. For the most part, I'm at home, so I can definitely wear it over almost anything. They definitely recommend cotton tank tops and then to put the trainer over cotton tank tops, but I will not wear, I just on this journey, I will not wear gym clothes for 8 hours a day. That's not gonna do much for me as far as feeling good about myself. So I've been putting this trainer over dresses, over joggers, over lace bodysuits. I've worn this trainer all up and through this tri-state area and no one said a word to me. Some people get super duper self-conscious about wearing the trainer out. I will always order all of mine in basic black, but to me, it's easier to be consistent having the trainer over your clothes versus under, especially if you have a sensitive skin. So for me, I'm always going to have to put the trainer. There's gonna have to be a barrier between me and the trainer. Some materials will deal with the sweat in the trainer well and your skin may not be itchy. And then there's some materials where your skin is going to be super duper itchy. Shoot, I forgot to turn off my heat, so y'all gonna hear that in the background. Sorry about that. So that's what I would recommend. Some people are saying, what if people say things to you? So short of it being at work, or maybe if you're at the airport, because I don't know how I'd get through TSA with this. Short of that, I don't think you should really worry about what other people think. You're on your journey. I like putting the trainer over my clothes because it's easy to never forget it, and I don't actually have to do a lot of thought process about how to conceal it. So if it was a back brace, I would be wearing my back brace openly and I wouldn't, have any issues with people seeing it. I've worn this trainer out to the nail salon while I'm running errands. I'm in the supermarket with the trainer. No one said anything to me. And I am the type of person that I can carry off this style. I mean, come on now. Okay? I can carry it off. But if you do feel self-conscious, then maybe the best way to go is to just put it under your clothes. If I was definitely going to work in person every day, I would probably have to find a way to put it under my clothes. But if you have sensitive skin, I definitely would recommend putting on like a light tank top, then the trainer, and then whatever loose clothing you're gonna put over it. It definitely can't be tight fitting because you're gonna see this. This is not a corset, this is a waist trainer. So for those of you that are not familiar, for a waist trainer like this one, maybe you can do some like light exercising, but it's not really meant for exercising. It's meant for really giving you that hourglass shape. So I work out in the mornings for yoga. You can't be restricted when you're supposed to have flexible moves and strength training. So I don't have this on. I put this on after I work out, after I shower, then I put this on. So it's for sculpting. It's for sculpting, but that doesn't mean that I'm stopping my strength training. It doesn't mean that I'm stopping my core work. It just means that after I'm done with all that stuff, I'm just sculpting. So a little light exercise I've heard is not bad. So maybe starting next week, I might start doing a second workout like I usually do leading up to my birthday, where I am doing strength training in 5-minute increments. So maybe I'm gonna squat. Maybe I'll start to squat with it on, but something nice and light that's still doing some strength training, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, this video is definitely gonna be longer than 15 minutes, and that's okay. I'll just break it up on IG. Y'all need to give people like 30-minute increments for their IG TV. This is ridiculous. Because one of these days you're gonna be mad because I'm gonna be popular. My channel's gonna be popular, and you're gonna be mad that you were only giving me 15-minute increments to sit here and talk about important stuff like waist training and the fitness journey. So yeah, those are some of the tips. I wear it over. Some people don't prefer it. Some people feel like they can't carry the style. I think if you're thinking too much about what other people think about what you have on, then maybe waist training is not going to be for you. The focus is to be consistent, people. And so yes, perky titties and all, I'm out here with this trainer. And generally, if you're asking me how I would pair this outfit, I probably would put on like my low like black sneakers, and I would just be kicking it like that, because I'm a Jersey girl. I can do that. So that's what's helped me be consistent. Writing down the times I put it on, the time I took it off, putting it over my clothes so that I never have to worry about how to conceal it. I have the luxury of doing that. I understand some people don't because they are physically going to work in person and there's certain limitations of maybe what they can wear in the office. But if you're outside of the office, really try to have some fun with this. Like, don't make it about what people perceive. Your fitness journey is not really about other people. It's your own personal journey. It's kind of like a spiritual journey, but it's for your body. So like, I wear it and I never forget it because I treat it like it's like, kind of like a coat, that I don't want to forget my coat before I go outside. So to me, once I get dressed for the day, I put on the trainer. The later in the day you put on this trainer, you are going to be retaining water and it's going to be really hard to get on. So it's always recommended to put it on first thing in the morning or as early as you can. Yesterday was the latest time I ever put this trainer on, and it was around 12 noon. And it was like one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. The only thing I drank during that time was water, okay? Water. I had eaten nothing yet. I hadn't, broken my fast. Water. And honey, I had to pray to get up in here, even with my gloves. I'm twisting, I'm turning, and it was just a mess. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in this trainer. So try not to wait too late in the day, especially if you start eating, because if you start eating, then it's going to be so hard to get back in this trainer. And I don't want that for you. In the 30 days, I've only had one day that I've had the trainer on way too tight. And that was one of the days this week. I think it was Tuesday. So I was so excited that I'm on the last row and I'm very close to getting rid of this extender. But, so I thought, okay, well, let me take the extender off and see if I can close the trainer. Well, I could. and it felt super tight, like really snug. But then I was wondering, is it too tight? How do you know, is it too tight? Well, baby, let me tell you how you're gonna know if it's too tight. When at some point you feel like your breathing is being restricted, that is a great indication that it's too tight. So like 4 hours later, I felt like my breathing was severely being restricted, like kind of like I'm pacing, but I'm not really doing anything. And that's when I realized I've got the trainer on too tight. Also, if you get upset while you're wearing this trainer, because I finally had taken it off and I readjusted it with the extender to where it should be, like I immediately did that, gripped it, whatever, did it. But Tuesday was a very upsetting day for me the entire day, very emotional day for me. So just realize if you get upset and you're trying to put this trainer on or take this trainer off, it is going to hold on for dear life, or it's going to be really hard for you to get it on. So you've got to really keep yourself calm. You've got to be in a very calming place, or this waist trainer is about to act a whole fool on you. Because at one point on Tuesday, I thought, no, yesterday was the worst. I thought I was gonna have to cut myself out of that bad boy, both yesterday and Tuesday night. Because Tuesday night I was really upset. And it's just like, I realized I had to do some deep breathing, regroup, get myself all the way together, and then take this trainer off. Oftentimes it's like the two buttons in the middle that are like not trying to unhook. And I'm just over here praying like, Lord, don't let me have to like cut myself out of it. So those are my experiences. Try to stay calm. If waist training turns out to not be for you, then just don't do it. It's okay. Now, I own a waist eraser that I can work out with, the Keisha Kayor one, the unisex one. I also own the Sweet Sweat band for working out. But I really am finally ready for something that just sculpts instead of just something that I work out with. So if you're not trying to sculpt, if you're not trying to get that hourglass shape, then this may not be the thing for you. Now, as far as choosing waist trainers, I read a couple articles, watched a couple YouTube videos before I selected the LUXX Curves one. One of the things that the article recommended that I thought was so great is instead of buying a trainer on Amazon, because y'all know I have an Amazon addiction, like I was originally planning, the article, well, the author of the article suggested that you buy directly from the company, especially if they have a support group. LUXX Curves has a Facebook support group. So I joined the group the night I received my trainer. It's so super, super great to have a community of women, or just a community of people, because it's over 30,000 people. So I can't really see every single member. I can't see every single post, but I would scroll through and I'd see if someone had a question like I had. I also posted about the rubber gloves for people who maybe they have arthritis, maybe they have another reason why their grip is not that great. Some people are losing knuckles, messing up their cuticles. Baby, I like to keep my nails nice. And I just knew that just wasn't gonna be for me. So when I posted the rubber gloves tip, it was great to see a lot of my other LUXX Curves, my fellow members, be in there and tell me that it's working for them too. We don't all have someone to put us in there. And I'm on this journey, like for me, I'm not on this journey for anybody else. So it's good to, I posted tips, and then it's also good to read tips that other people, more experienced members, are sharing. So I think if you're really serious about waist training, find a training company, buy directly through them, and then join whatever support group, whatever Facebook support group they have. I think that's really also helped me be consistent. Once again, you keep hearing me say consistency is key. Now, as far as some tips for LUXX Curves, I actually once I decided this was the company I was gonna go with, I actually watched a lot of their intro videos about when you're new to waist training, like them saying don't wear it at night when you're sleeping. They don't recommend it. They don't recommend it wearing it for more than 8 hours a day. Them telling you like certain other tips to keep it healthy. And I really could appreciate that. So I would say once you choose, whoever you choose, whatever company you choose, watch some reviews, watch some introduction videos about when you're gonna start. Definitely measure yourself. I would definitely choose a company that's not only going with your waist measurements, but also your torso measurements. In the past, even with the waist eraser and the Sweet Sweat band, I always felt like I wasn't getting enough coverage in my torso area. Thanks to LUXX Curves, I am finally in a medium torso, and I don't have to deal with like a short torso waist trainer. where I feel like it's giving me coverage here, but then I might have everything spilling out here. Like I want to get snatched, you know, from here to here. So I definitely recommend that. Once you watch the videos, you measure yourself, or if you don't know how to do it, have somebody help you. Try to get as close to your measurements. And if they do sell things like extenders in case you're off with your measurements, then I definitely recommend getting that. So here's the thing about the extenders for Luxe Curves. I've seen in the videos and in some of the comments that if you go down a size, so probably my real size was like an X large in the trainers. But if you go down a size and then you get the 2 extenders, so I bought a large, that it will be able to fit like an X large. Well, it turns out I'm somewhere in between because I didn't need both extenders. I really only needed one. So I definitely recommend if your company has something like extenders, purchase it, because you don't want to get your trainer and then you have to send it back or whatever. I know Luxe Curves has like a customer service where you could like email, send your measurements, and they'll tell you what they think. But honestly, you're not going to know if you're in love with your trainer or not until it comes, or if it's right. I happen to make the right decision with the medium torso. I'm very happy with that. And the right decision of getting a large with the extenders. I just happen to get lucky, but I don't recommend people doing that. So once you choose your company, then you need to figure out what your fitness regimen is and what's going to work well for you. Like I said, I'm not a dieter, but perhaps in the future I can work on eating a little bit more healthier. That's kind of my vice. I'm more than willing to work out. I'm obviously more than willing to be uncomfortable in a trainer, as far as like rashes and bruised ribs and stuff like that. But when it comes to somebody trying to hold on to my Popeye's chicken or my steak and lobster, or my Reese's peanut butter cups, then I'm like, nah. Or like a Carvel hot fudge sundae. Like I love those things. And so it's really hard for me to kick them, but perhaps I need to just do a better job of not overindulging. All right, I think those are some of the tips that I'm recommending right now if you're on your waist training journey. It's not easy. Like I said, even when you eat normal, there's going to be some things your trainer doesn't like when you have it on. So you may get a little bit of acid reflux. You may get a little bit of nausea. If you feel like your breathing is being restricted, something is definitely off. So just take the trainer off and try to figure out where you went wrong. Also, if you're not seeing immediate results, like I'm happy about my 2 inches because that's 2 inches less of getting me closer to my goal. I really am going to try to push through and be a little bit more consistent with what I'm eating to see if I can get some better results moving forward. So now that I'm at the end of my first 30 days and I consistently put it on every day, what's next for me? I hope to go another 30 days and to try to get my body, ooh, that scared me. To try to get my body more and more used to this trainer, and to also, like I said, do a little bit more strength training to kind of tone up. So that's what's next for me, but I'm gonna do it just the way I did the first 30 days, and I'm gonna be easy on myself. It's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's just a process. And then realizing that some days you may be successful with what you wanna do, and some days you may not be. But what you're gonna do is when you fall down, you're gonna get right back up and you're gonna decide what's important. For me, commitment is a difficult thing, whether it's to a person, whether it's to a fitness regimen. But once I'm committed, I'm really in it. And that's the thing I've learned about me. So when I started this journey, I wasn't 100% sure if I was really going to be in it, if I was really going to do these 30 days, but I happened to end up doing it. Okay, guys, I think that's like everything that I have to say about the trainer right now. If you do read an article about the best waist trainers out there for 2022, a lot of them tend to have coupon codes. Some sites also have coupon codes on there. I know with Luxe Curves, they usually give 10% off. I think the article that I read that introduced me to Luxe Curves actually gave me 20% off when you're a first-time buyer. So, so go out there, do your research, do your Google search, do your YouTube search, and it's something you're investing in. These things are not all that cheap. I think a lot of Luxe Curves trainers are like $80 and up. And so it just depends. For some people that's really steep, for some people that's really reasonable. It just all depends. But definitely do your research and then try to decide what's good for you. All right, I think that's all the tips I have to share. Okay, you guys be good. It's KJM, it's Flashback Friday, and I'm out. So on IG, this is gonna be 2 videos, all right? Thank you guys. Bye.